Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Caitanya Charitamrita. After a long time, we are back with Caitanya Charitamrita. Alright, so we will continue from Caitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 6, text 101 onwards. We were discussing the conversation between Amogha, Gopinath Acharya, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya regarding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not accepting him as God, and Gopinath Acharya was convincing him that he is God. And we will go through that. And today we will be seeing at some of the predictions in Śāstra for the yet to come, at that time yet to come, incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Alright, we'll say our Mangalacharan prayers and dive straight into it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadhutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll go to 100 just to have some continuation. Prati Juga Karena Krishna Juga Avatar Tarkanishta Hriday Tomar Nahika Vichar. Gopinath Acharya continued, there is certainly an incarnation in every age, and such an incarnation is called the Yugavatar. But your heart has become so hardened by logic and argument that you cannot consider all these facts. So this is the thing. If we are not devotees, so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya attained the name Sarvabhauma because it's a title. His name was Vasudeva. So he got this title Sarvabhauma because he defeated every other scholar on earth. He was the foremost scholar and he was well versed in Vedic literature. But he could not understand that this was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the thing, the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma said, Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakto. So even if one has studied the entire Vedas, one still cannot get Krishna. One cannot identify Krishna. One cannot understand Krishna. But if one is a devotee, then one can understand. The Vedas will start to have meaning for the devotee. Otherwise, they'll become a burden of knowledge. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, actually there are verses, 2 verses. Let's go to those verses first. 10:14:4. Shreyasritam bhakti mudasyate vibho klishyanti ye kevala bodha labdhaye teshamaso kleshala eva shishyate nanyadyatha sthula tushavaghatinam. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the best path for self-realization. If someone gives up that path and engages in the cultivation of speculative knowledge, he will simply undergo a troublesome process and will not achieve his desired result. As a person who beats an empty husk of wheat cannot get grain, one who simply speculates cannot achieve self realization. His only gain is trouble. So, if you beat an empty husk of grain, you're not going to get any grain. Only when the husk is filled with grain and then you beat it, then you get grain. So, it will be a useless endeavor, it will be a burden. In fact, this is mentioned in this other verse. 11, 11, 18 and 19. शब्द ब्रह्मणि निष्णातो न निष्णायात् परे यदि श्रमस्तस्य श्रमफलो ह्यधेनुमिव रक्षतः. If through meticulous study one becomes expert in reading Vedic literature but makes no endeavor to fix one's mind on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one's endeavor is certainly like that of a man who works very hard to take care of a cow that gives no milk. In other words, the fruit of one's laborious study of Vedic literature, Vedic knowledge, will simply be the labor itself. There will be no other tangible result. So it's just a useless labor if one cannot get himself to fix his mind on Krishna after all that study. I think next verse also. Gam dugdha doham asatim cha bharyam deham paradhinam asat prajam cha vittam tvatirthi kritamangavacham hinam maya rakshati dukkha dukhi. My dear Uddhava, that man is certainly most miserable who takes care of a cow that gives no milk, an unchaste wife, who takes care of an unchaste wife, or who takes care of a body totally dependent on others. If he has a body totally dependent on others, that means he cannot do his own things. Everybody, even passing urine and stool, he needs help. Then or useless children or wealth not utilized for the right purpose. He's most miserable. Similarly, one who studies Vedic knowledge devoid of my glories is also most miserable. So you see, so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and all these Mayavadis, they are of this category. They are so well versed in so many scriptures, but they have lost the essence of it. And this happens when we offend the Lord. The Vedic literature, Krishna remains elusive even after laborious study of the Vedic literature. This is explained in this verse. प्रभुर निंदाय सबार बुद्धि होइल नाश सुपठित विद्याकारो न होय प्रकाश. When all the students thus resolved, criticizing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their intelligence was spoiled. Thus, although they were learned scholars, because of this offense, the essence of knowledge was not manifested in them. What is the essence of knowledge? Krishna Sambandha Jnana. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mantra is Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha. So, Krishna Sambandha Vijnana, if we don't have, if our Jnana is Krishna Rahita, Krishna Sambandha Rahita Jnana, then there is not Jnana, there is Ajnana. That is a burden. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, don't just carry big books in your hand, and lug them around like asses. No. Like, a donkey carries so much weight, for the dhobi, for the washerman. So if you just carry big books in your hand or big knowledge in your brain, like so many shlokas or this and that knowledge of everything, but if you miss the point of Krishna consciousness, then it is just shrama eva hi kevalam, useless labor, burden like an ass. Ass is carrying, but The real burden means Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Let me see. You know, so this is the, if one is heavy, Guru means heavy. The word Guru means heavy. Heavy with knowledge. Knowledge means Krishna Sambandhak Vigyan. Krishna Tattvavit dāsa, Shri Guru hai. So one who is in knowledge of Krishna, he is Shabde Parechan Nishnatam. He is completely purified with Vedic knowledge, and he is firmly established, and he is heavy with pregnant with the knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So such a person is a guru. A guru cannot be one who does not know anything about Krishna. Krishna Tattvavetta. He has to be a Krishna Tattvavetta. Now, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shvapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision, the humble sages, or humble sage, whatever, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater, outcast. Now, the point I was trying to make is Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. So, this Vidya Vinaya means gentleness, and Vidya means knowledge. With knowledge comes gentleness, not conceit, not arrogance, not pride. That's not the result of knowledge. If one has that, that's actually a symptom of ajnana. Because jnana means why one becomes humble when one has knowledge. Why? I know more than the other person. Why should I be humble? Why does that give rise to humility? If anything, it gives rise to pride, right? Actually, yes, there is a huge risk of that. But you know why there is a risk of that? Because if we have knowledge, why there is a risk of pride? Because we become obsessed with the information, but we do not understand ourselves. There's no transformation. So, if I really understand, if I have knowledge, then I have to understand that Keshagra Shatabhagasya Shatadha Kalpitasya cha Bhagosi Jivo Savignya Sachanantyaya Kalpate. I must understand that I am infinitesimal. Infinitesimal. I am very, very small. So if I am very small, why should I be having this big ego? So if I am really aware of my position, Trinadapi Sunichena, then that gives rise to humility. And actually, wow. Okay, this connects me to something that I read from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's book. As usual, I'll bring that book into this class. Just a second. Very, very, very beautiful explanation by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You have to listen to this. Oh, where is it? It's here. Okay. So, the Mayavadi, Shankaracharya, he has some Mahavakyas, right? He has some Mahavakyas. One is Tattvamasi, one is Ekam Evadvitiyam, Aham Brahmasmi, and the fourth one. Four Mahavakyas are there. Just a second. Let me see if I can find it. Where did I read that? Krishna. There is a. Wait. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe in the second. Very somehow I missed it. Maybe it's in the second book. Because okay, I'll just summarize. You know, these Mahavakyas, I should read that because otherwise it's not going to do justice. It's very pertinent. And now if I can bring it out. I'm sorry, I'm wasting your time here. I'll just see for a few seconds more. I can't get it. Then I will. No, something else. Somewhere else. I'm sorry, but he actually. But why is it not there? No, something is. I'm missing something. So, um, what he was saying was the Trinadapi Sunichana verse combines all the four Mahavakyas of the Vedanta Sutra that Shankaracharya says that these are the four Mahavakyas which are the essence of all knowledge of Vedanta Sutra. Um, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained that the Trinadapi Sunichana verse is the culmination of all those four Mahavakyas. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Ekam Evadvitiyam, one more. Aham Grahopasana. Aham Grahopasana. So these four are the Mahavakyas of the Mayavadis. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said this Trinadapi Sunichana verse gives the correct understanding, in fact, of the four Mahavakyas. All the four Mahavakyas are in this one verse. Very beautiful description. I'm unable to find it. I don't know where I read it. So that's unfortunately, this is also not doing justice to me. I'll just give me 15 seconds. I will just see if one last attempt, if I can. Uh, 23, even 28. Well, I don't know. So anyway, very, very beautiful explanation. My point is, the knowledge, which is considered the essence of all knowledge, the Mahavakyas of Vedanta Sutram, which Shankaracharya said, all that knowledge is included in the Trinadapi Sunich universe, which actually talks about humility. That's the connection. And such a beautiful explanation I'm unable to find. Ekameva Advitiyam. I don't know if I can even find that. Ekameva Advitiyam versus did no English words. Never mind. I don't seem to be able to find it. I will. Such a beautiful explanation. I should remember this properly. Otherwise, you will miss out like this. We'll miss out on a lot. Because I think maybe some reference. Well, yeah. When I find it, I'll share it. But true knowledge should make us humble. We should understand that we are infinitesimal. We are lower than the what's that, straw in the street, and it's like one particle. No, what is it? Dholi sadrisham vichintaya. So I just want to be a particle of dust at your lotus feet. So that is actual humility. So with knowledge comes humility. And there was a beautiful verse that Balaram says to Krishna, right? Let me see if I can find that at least. Venu Gita, chapter 3 of Krishna. Is it? No? Let's see what this is. Oh, this is something else. Krishna enters the forest. This is the Sivaram Swami book. No. But this is the story. This is the thing. The verse, the fruit laden trees. Sri Krishna says that the fruit laden trees, which impersonalists in their past lives, now bow before Sri Balaram and pray for spiritual advancement. So, there's a similar. I couldn't find. There's a very nice verse where Balaram, I think Balaram says to Krishna that all the plants of this Vrindavan, because of the heavy fruits, are bowing down to you in humility. So that is actually what happens when one is heavy with knowledge. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. So when one is heavy, Guru means heavy. When one becomes heavy with knowledge, he'll become humble. But if I become puffed up, then that is not knowledge, that is ajnana. So if I have so much knowledge and I'm not humble enough to accept the supremacy of God, then that is actually not vinaya. That is not gentleness, that is pride, that is arrogance. So that's not good. That's actually avidya. So that's why it is a risk that if one gains knowledge, one may get pride. Because one will lose the idea, lose the understanding that I am actually infinitesimal, insignificant soul. And I think myself so important. The very effect of knowledge will be lost with the accumulation of knowledge, accumulation of information. This is 1022. Okay, there's a comment section. 1022:33. Who is picking this? Adi 946. Look at that. Imagine this is quoted in the 9th canto of the Adilila, 9th chapter of the Adilila, which is a very important chapter about Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna said, so it's Krishna who said to Arjuna, Aho esham varam janma sarva pranya upajivanam sujanasyeva yesham vai vimukha yanti narthinaha. Just see how these trees are maintaining every living entity, their birth successful, their behavior just like that of great personalities. For anyone who asks anything from a tree, no, not this, not this, not this. 10:15:5. Yeah, I think bowing their heads. Yeah, that's the one. 10:15:5. 10:15:5. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Lord Sri Krishna said, okay, so Krishna. So Krishna said these were trees are bowing down to Balaram. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Aho ami deva varamarachitam. Aho ami deva varamararchitam. Padambujam te sumanah phalarhanam. Namantyupadaya shikhabhiratmanas tamopahatyaitar janma yatkritam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O greatest of Lords, just see how these trees are bowing their heads at your lotus feet, which are worshipable by the immortal demigods. The trees are offering you their fruits and flowers to eradicate the dark ignorance that has caused their birth as trees. It is actually very nice. So, going back, somebody is saying what? I would say how one interprets the knowledge. If an interpretation is done in the correct direction, then knowledge can be a good thing. Now we have to define what is correct direction. So correct is a very vague word because everybody has their own definition or own way of defining what correct is. So there has to be a standard of the correctness. What is correct and what is wrong? What is right and what is wrong? And that can only be the definitive understanding of what correct and wrong is what is explained in the Vedic scriptures. What Krishna wants us to do, that is right. What Krishna does not want us to do, that is wrong. So it comes back to this point where only when one understands Krishna, then whatever he has will be an asset. Otherwise, it will be actually a weight which pulls him down. Compassion and genuine humility. Is the explanation there? I mean, chapter on compassionate belligerence and genuine humility. I want a specific reference of Pranadapi Sunichana being the sum total of all the 4 Mahavakyas that Shankaracharya has mentioned. So going back now, so Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he was having so much knowledge, but he couldn't understand the essence of it. which is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. All this is not known to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Right? So now, (1004) or 1005 pages. Okay, that's the PDF then. On a physical book. Okay, I'll take the PDF out. I can take the PDF out. Let me see, where is it? Vedantavakyeshu sadaramanta kopinavanta khalu bhagyavanta. 1004. Let me try. Let me try if I can get it there. Yes. You see, this is the one. So this is good. I will show it on the screen, but it's going to be small. But I'll show it anyway. Since okay, just let's go there. Vedant Vakyeshu Sadaramanta Kopinavanta Khalu Bhagyavanta. Okay, you see. Even in youth, Sri Siddhanta Saraswati had made an elaborate study of Mayavad for the sake of overmastering it. Overmaster it, not just master it, overmaster Mayavad philosophy so that he can defeat every single strongest point it has. So he had perused both Mayavad literature and Vaishnava refutations thereof. He followed Mahaprabhu in giving natural expositions of Vedic texts to undermine Mayavad malinterpretations. For instance, he pointed out that the explanation of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad maxim, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman spirit, to mean I am the Supreme, is Agnya Rudhi, based on the fallacy of homogeneity of spirit. The Vidvad Rudhi being I am a spiritual entity. Vidvad Rudhi means the actual correct import. Agnya Rudhi means conclusion based on a fallacy. I am a spiritual entity. For Brahma can indicate either the Supreme Spirit or the infinitesimal Spirit. And for a Jiva to declare himself the Supreme is simply wishful thinking because plainly he is not. Due to Mayavad misconceptions, many people found Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching of Trinadapi Sunichata incongruent with Aham Brahmasmi, as the Supreme need not be humble. If Aham Brahmasmi, of course, there is then two words, Param Brahma and Brahma. It is never said Aham Parabrahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. So the Lord is also Brahma. But he has a special qualification, special category of Brahma, which is Parabrahma, whereas everybody else is just Brahma. So, but the Mayavadis, they understood that Trinadapi Sunichata to be incongruent with Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi, I am God. What is this Trinadapi Sunichena? Yet, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explained Trinadapi Sunichata as the only true import of Aham Brahmasmi. For the dharma of the jiva is to constantly chant in all humility the holy names of Sri Krishna, accepting his paramount see. Aham Brahmasmi is one of the 4 Upanishadic aphorisms that Sripad Shankaracharya declared as principal Mahavakyas, great sayings. claiming that the misinterpretations he lent them are the essence of Vedic philosophy. So Shankaracharya says that these four Mahavakyas, which we will mention now, they are the essence of all Vedic philosophy, and Aham Brahmasmi is one of them. One of the four Mahavakyas, Aham Brahmasmi. That means I am spirit soul actually, but they think I am supreme spirit. That's there. But he claimed, Shankaracharya claimed that these misinterpretations of these four Mahavakyas, these sentences, is the essence of Vedic philosophy. So, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati explicated or explained how the purport of each of these supposed Mahavakyas is subsumed within the Trinadapi Sunichena verse. Thank you for finding the reference. This is the one. So, you see, subsumed means it is included. That means Trinadapi Sunichena verse is a superset of all these four. Is subsumed within the Trinadapi Sunichena verse, which he identified as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mahavakya. Aham Brahmasmi corresponds to Trinadapi Sunichena. I am a spirit soul, infinitesimal. That is actually Jnana. One becomes humble by that. And Amani means not expecting respect. If I am Trinadapi Sunichena, if I am humbler than the grass, then why will I expect respect? I will expect people to trample upon me. Like grass, people trample upon the grass. So that's Aham Brahmasmi. I am never Parabrahmasmi. I am only Brahmasmi. So I am infinitesimal. I am nobody. So I have to be humble and I have to not expect respect from others. Amani and Trinadapi Sunichena is there in Aham Brahmasmi. Then he says, Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi means I am that. I am that. Means the Mayavadis interpret this as I am the Supreme. But he says here, Tattvamasi corresponds to Taroreva Sahishnuna. And why exactly is that? Let's see. I don't know if anything is mentioned. I am here also. Tattvamasi means I am of the same quality. But why it is Taroriva Sahishnuna and Manada? Manada means to give respect to others. Let's see if there is any. Tattvamasi is from Chandogya Upanishad. Okay. Oh, Prajnanam Anandam. Okay. Prajnanam Anandam Brahma. Okay, that is the Aitareya Upanishad. Okay, so Prameyantargat Bheda Bheda Vichar, chapter 18 of Jaiva Dharma. These four principal Mahavakyas are listed as listed in Prameyantargat Bheda Bheda Vichar, chapter 18 of Jaiva Dharma, wherein Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur analyzes them according to Gaudiya Siddhanta. However, in Sripad Shankaracharya's Matha Amnaya Stotra, the fourth is given as Ayam Atma Brahma for a translation of Trinadapi Sunichena verse, volume 220. So, Jaiva Dharma analyzes these four. I have the Jaiva Dharma. I don't know if I can find it. This is Jaiva Dharma. Just put it for reference here. Chapter 18 is what is said here. Oh, it looks like a big chapter. So I'm not going to go into that. When I find it, I might share it. Okay. Wow, this goes very deep. Is this the one? Yeah. Mahavakyas. सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्म नेह नानास्ति किंचन प्रज्ञानं ब्रह्म तत्त्वमसि श्वेतकेतो अहम ब्रह्मास्मि. Well, it's a detailed he mentions in a different way, but Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that Trinadapi Sunichena has all of it. So why exactly Tattvamasi is akin to Taroreva Sahishnuna, I am not immediately getting it. But next, Manada. Okay, so respect to others and tolerance corresponds to Tattvamasi. If I go here, let me see what. Tattvamasi. You are that Brahman. It can be this. You are that Brahman, so you're not the body, and therefore, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhadaha Agama Payano Nityastam Titikshasva Bharata. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, you are the soul. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuhyati. So, the soul, the body may change, but the soul is eternal. So, we have to tolerate the bodily inconveniences or conveniences. Both are distractions. So, we have to tolerate them. So, Sahishnuna, Taroriva Sahishnuna. So, you are that Brahman, you are not the body. And Manada, we have to give respect to others. So, in this way, Tattvamasi corresponds to Taroriva Sahishnuna and Manada. Prajnanam Anandam Brahma to Kirtaniya. Prajnanam Anandam. Prajnanam, here it is mentioned Prajnanam Brahma. So let me just keep this open so that we can kind of cross check. So Prajnanam Brahma. Prajna, pure knowledge, is transcendental and is of the same spiritual substance as Brahman. But here it is mentioned Prajnanam Anandam Brahma to Kirtaniya. So Kirtaniya is actually Vidyavadhu Jivanam. So all Vidya is there in the Kirtan. Actually it is true, because if you see the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna and Rama, the reservoir of pleasure and the supreme attractive person, and Hare means the energy of God, which is represented by Srimati Radharani, the personification of all energies. And Lakshmi is her expansion, Durga is her further expansion, material expansion, external energy. So, and in Durga, under Durga, everything that we see in this material world is under her jurisdiction. Every little thing, whatever energy, whatever we are, electrical energy or our internet, whatever it is, everything is Durga's, under the Durga superintendence. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha. So whatever is there in this world, everything is energy of Krishna, Hare, and it is supposed to be used for Krishna's service, because it is actually Radharani's property to use it in Krishna's service. That's what it's meant for. But we are now using it for our sense gratification. So that whole understanding of everything belongs to Krishna. I myself, you see, Hare Krishna means Radha Krishna, engage me in your service. I am engaged in Maya service until now. I don't want that. I want your service. I am a spirit soul. I am not this body, so I don't want to serve Maya. I want to serve my bodily relations and my so-called assets in this world, but I want to serve you, Radha Madhav. So that is Kirtan. Kirtan means Vidyavadhu Jivanam. Prajnanam, Jnanam means knowledge. Anandam, Kirtan is full of Susukham Kartum Avyayam. This is full of bliss. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Ever increasing ocean of bliss. So Prajnanam Anandam Brahma to Kirtaniya. And Ekam Eva Advitiyam to Hari. There is only one, Eva Advitiyam. There is no person who is a second equal to him. Mattah Parataram na anyat. There is no one superior to me. Huh? What is that? Adhikascha drishyate. What is that? Natat samaschabhyadhikascha drishyate. There is nobody equal to him or above him. Everybody is below him. So Ekam, there's one Supreme Lord, and Advitiyam Eva. Ekam Eva Advitiyam. Dvitiyam means second. Advitiyam means he is second to none. And there is no second equal to him. Nothing. He is one and is undisputed. And that is Hari. So Caitanya Sada Hari. So in this way, all the four Mahavakyas, the biggest essence of knowledge, according to Shankaracharya, is subsumed within the Trinadapi Sunechena verse, which talks about humility, which talks about tolerance. So Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, that is real understanding of knowledge. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he is not bowing before, I mean, he's bowed before Jagannath deity, but he's not understanding the supremacy of the Lord. He thinks he is equal to Lord. Namo Narayanaya. You are Narayana, I am Narayana, everybody Narayana. What is this nonsense? We are not Narayana. We are always Bhakt of Narayana. So, in this way, Saraswati Thakur explained Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. Now let's go back. So you see, these are all carrying of knowledge without any essence of knowledge there. Really missing the point. So, now today, Gopinath Acharya is saying, Asan varnastrayo hyasya grihanato nuyagam tanuh shuklo raktas tathapita idanim krishnatam gatah. In the past, your son has had bodies of 3 different colors according to the age. These colors were white, red, and yellow. In this age, Dwapara Yuga, he has accepted a blackish body. Purport. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.8.13 was spoken by Gargamuni when he was performing the rituals at Lord Krishna's name-giving ceremony. He states that the incarnations of the Lord in other ages had been white, red, and yellow. Yellow means Pita. This yellow color refers to the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose bodily complexion was yellowish or golden. Gauranga. This confirms that in past Kali Yugas, the Lord also had incarnated in a body that was yellow in hue. It is understood that the Lord incarnates in different colors for the different yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. Accepting the color yellow, Pita, as well as other characteristics, the Lord incarnated as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the verdict of all Vedic authorities. Iti Dwapara Urvisha Stuvanti Jagadishwaram Nana Tantra Vidhanena Kalavapi Tatha Shrunu. In the age of Kali as well as in Dwapara Yuga, the people offer prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by various mantras and observe the regulative principles of the supplementary Vedic literatures. Now please hear of this from me. Purport. This is a quotation from 11.5.31. Then, Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajnaihi Sankirtana Prayayir Yajantihi Sumedhasaham. The important point here is, instead of establishing the presence of God, or instead of trying to prove that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God by any other way, by some sentimental way, no, I got a dream, or everybody is saying, or he showed me Vishwarupa, he can show Vishwarupa, you ask him, he'll show Vishwarupa. But here, the real thing, the actual way to establish God is through Shastric statements. So because even if we, like Arjuna asked Krishna to show the Vishwarupa, to show that, an incarnation of God should be able to show Vishwarupa. So if somebody in the future says he's God, he has to show Vishwarupa. If he cannot, then he's not God, he's dog. So, but the thing is, Naham prakasha sarvasya. God will not reveal himself to others. Even when he showed Vishwarupa on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the non-devotees could not see him, could not see that Vishwarupa. They could not understand, they could not see also. Divyam dadami te chakshuhu. His Krishna said, I'll give you divine eyes to be able to see this Vishwarupa. So even if an imposter God or an imitation God, if he tries to show his Vishwarupa, he says he's God, and if we ask him to show his Vishwarupa, and then I'm showing already, but you cannot see it because you are not my devotee, so I don't give you the divine eyes. So he can hide behind the statement. So the best way, though, which is what they are doing, like Gopinath Acharya and who's the other person with him? Got. So Gopinath Acharya here is establishing by Shastric statements. That is the way. That is the way. So you see how he's quoting now. So nobody can refute this now. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya cannot refute these statements. In this age of Kali, those who are intelligent perform the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead who appears in this age, always describing the glories of Krishna. That incarnation is yellowish in hue and is always associated with his plenary expansion, such as Nityananda Prabhu, and personal expansion, such as Gadadhar, and as well as his devotees and associates, such as Swarup Damodar. Purport. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32 is explained by Srila Jiva Goswami in his Krama Sandarbha, as quoted by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in regard to the explanation of Adilila, 3rd chapter, verse 52. Let's go there. So much reference is given. Jiva Goswami's Krama Sandarbha, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Let's go there. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajnaihi Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedasa. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his commentary on the Bhagavatam known as the Krama Sandarbha, wherein he says that Lord Krishna also appears with a golden complexion. That golden Lord Krishna is Lord Caitanya. Antah Krishnam Bahir Gauram. What is that? Antah Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalauh Sankirtanadhyaihisma Sri Chaitanyam. What is that? Antah Krishnam. Come on. Yes. Antah Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam Kalau Sankirtanadhyaihisma Krishna Chaitanyam Ashritaha. So this is Jiva Goswami's version of Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam. And this is the second verse, second text of Tattva Sandarbha. His Shat Sandarbha, the second verse is this. He has composed this verse. Antah Krishnam Bahir Gauram Darshitangadi Vaibhavam. Now this tends to give the meaning that inside he's Krishna, but his outside, his complexion is Gaura. Actually he's Krishna, but outwardly he is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But actually there is another meaning to Antah Krishnam. It means inside he's always thinking of Krishna, and outside his complexion is Gaura. This is Radharani. Radharani always thinks of Krishna and her complexion is golden. So Antah Krishnam Bahir Gauram. So it has many meanings there. So he came in the mood of Radharani. So Antah Krishnam Bahir Gauram conveys two meanings. That actually he is Krishna, but he came in the not Krishna color, but Gaura color. But the hidden meaning is Antah Krishnam. Internally he is always thinking of Krishna. Outwardly he is. I take shelter of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is outwardly of a fair complexion but is inwardly Krishna himself. You see, this is explained like this, right? But in another place, it is explained the other way. Antah Krishnam Bahir Gauram. That is Radharani actually. So he included both in this verse. Is Radha and is Krishna also. So a very beautifully composed verse. Krishna Varnam Dvisha Krishnam. You see this? Srila Jiva Goswami has placed the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, quoted in verse 52, Krishna Varnam Dvisha Krishnam, as the auspicious introduction to his Bhagavat Sandarbha or Shat Sandarbha. Yes. He has composed this text, 81, Anta Krishnam Bahir Gauram, which is in effect an explanation of the Bhagavatam verse as the second verse of the same work. Tattva Sandarbha, the second verse is this. The verse from Srimad Bhagavatam was enunciated by Karabhajana, one of the 9 great sages, and is elaborately explained by the Sarva Samvadini Jiva Goswami's commentary on his own Shat Sandarbha. Antah Krishna refers to one who is always thinking of Krishna. You see, the translation of the verse says, inwardly Krishna himself, outwardly fair complexion. So it is Krishna with a different complexion, not Krishna complexion. But it is also Radha, who is always thinking of Krishna, and she has golden complexion. So, Antah Krishna refers to one who is always thinking of Krishna. This attitude is a predominant feature of Srimati Radharani. Even though many devotees always think of Krishna, none can surpass the gopis, among whom Radharani is the leader in thinking of Krishna. Antah Krishnam. How deep, you see. Radharani's Krishna consciousness surpasses that of all other devotees. Lord Chaitanya accepted the position of Srimati Radharani to understand Krishna. Therefore, he was always thinking of Krishna in the same way as Radharani. By thinking of Krishna, he always overlapped Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who was outwardly very fair with a complexion like molten gold, simultaneously manifested his eternal associates, opulences, expansions, and incarnations. He preached the process of chanting Hare Krishna, and those who are under his lotus feet are glorious. Okay, so in this way, it is explained. Now, if you go to here, that golden Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. That is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Gargamuni, who said that although the child Krishna was blackish, he also appears in 3 other colors, red, white, and yellow. He exhibited his white and red complexions in the Satya and Treta ages, respectively. He did not exhibit the remaining color, yellow, gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Gaurahari. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varnam means Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Varna and Krishna Chaitanya are equivalent. The name Krishna appears with both Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Krishna. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he always engages in describing Krishna and thus enjoys transcendental bliss by chanting and remembering his name and form. Lord Krishna himself appears as Lord Chaitanya to preach the highest gospel. So here, Krishna Varnam means there are 2 meanings again. Krishna Varnam, like Varnashrama. Varna means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Varna means category. Like Varga means a series. Varna means category. So like Kavarga, Chavarga, Tavarga, Tavarga, Pavarga. That is a series, but it is actually a Varna also. Because labials means one which you touch with your lip. Pa, pa, ba, bha, ma. All of these are labials. That's a Varna, that's a category of sound. So therefore, similarly, there are dental, danta, which is ta, tha, da, dha, na. All are touching the teeth at the back. So in this way, each of them are actually a category. And in the Varnashram system, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, 4 Varnas, 4 categories of human society, divided into these Vibhagashaha. So he belongs to the category of Krishna. Like, there is Vishnu Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Jiva Tattva. So this Tattva means actually the category. Also the signs of it, but also the category. Krishna, Vishnu Tattva is a Vishnu category. Jiva Tattva is Jiva category. Shakti Tattva, Shakti category. So Krishna Varnam means Vishnu Tattva. So that means Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishnam. Tvisha means complexion, and Akrishnam means not blackish, not dark blue. Sham Sundar, something else. That is actually golden. So Krishna Varnam means he is of the category of Krishna, means he is Vishnu Tattva, but Krishna Varnayati iti Krishna Varnam. If Varnayati means to describe, Varnam means to describe, Varnita. So Varnam means also description. Varnam means category, Varnam means description. So the person who always describes Krishna or who glorifies Krishna, chants his Krishna's name and talks only about Krishna, that is Krishna Varnam. So he is of the category of Krishna and he always talks of Krishna. Kirtaniya Sadahari. So that is Krishna Varnam. Lord Chaitanya always chants the holy name of Krishna and describes it also. And because he is Krishna himself, whoever meets him will automatically chant the holy name of Krishna and later describe it to others. So not only he is describing, but whoever hears him also will be able to describe it to others. He injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which merges the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna. You see, by personality or by sound. Did you understand that? So you see, Krishna Varnam means, this is the third meaning. So, Krishna Varnam is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the category of Krishna. And he describes Krishna, whether by chanting his name or describing his qualities or his devotees, anything. And now that name itself, which is Krishna Varnam, means the description of Krishna, which is name of Krishna is also his description, is all attractive, right? That name is again non-different from Krishna. That name itself is Krishna Varnam, is the category of Krishna, is that Harinam is Vishnu Tattva. So Krishna Varnam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna's category. Krishna Varnayati is Krishna Varnam. So he describes Krishna. And that name which he describes is non-different from Krishna. Not only Krishna's name non-different from Krishna, but it's Krishna's topics. Krishna Varnayati means describing Krishna in any way. So the qualities, pastimes, name, form, everything is non-different from Krishna, which is Vishnu Tattva, which is Krishna Varnam. Wow, this is three meanings now. Krishna Varnam. So that's why here it is said, he injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which merges the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna, either by personally or by sound. When he is chanting, so he is Krishna. When he is chanting, the name Krishna is Krishna. And when he is chanting, others are hearing the name and they are also chanting. That is also Krishna. Krishna Varnam. They are describing Krishna, and that holy name and the description of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. So it is in the category of Krishna, Vishnu Tattva. So either by sound or by his own form, he is appearing as Krishna in front of everyone. Krishna Varnam Dvisha Krishnam. How beautiful, you see. Triple entendre. Triple entendre. That means three meanings in one. So in all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna, either by personality or by sound. Simply by seeing Lord Chaitanya, one at once remembers Lord Krishna. One may therefore accept him as Vishnu Tattva. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna himself. Sangopangastra Parshadam further indicates that Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna. His body is always decorated with ornaments of sandalwood and with sandalwood paste. By his super excellent beauty, he subdues all the people of the age. In other descents, the Lord sometimes used weapons to defeat the demoniac, but in this age, the Lord subdues them with his all-attractive figure as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that his beauty is his astra, or weapon to subdue the demons. Because he is all attractive, it is to be understood that all the demigods lived with him as his companions. So, it's another thing. So, his beauty is his astra. You know, even in material thing, you know, to promote some product, they will hire one beautiful model, some attractive, physically attractive model, some girl who is standing beside one car. Although she has nothing to do with the car, she cannot even maybe drive the car, but she's standing beside the car to sell the car in the photo, in the promotional photo. So everything, even one toothpaste also they will put one girl there. So beauty, through beauty there is the promotion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his beauty is his astra. So anything must be used in Krishna's service. Um, so even if one has beauty, it's not that you know makeup and everything. No, actually anybody will become beautiful if he becomes Krishna conscious. What is the point if one is physically beautiful but his character stinks to high heaven? That person is not attractive. Not attractive. His character stinks like anything. Arrogance, conceit. It's just horrible. So one must be humble. If one does this, one will become automatically attractive to others. If one is humble. And if not just that, this cannot be had without special strength. It requires extreme strength to become humble. It sounds counterintuitive, but actually, unless one is extremely strong spiritually, he cannot be humble. Usually, humility is taken as a weakness. Oh, and arrogance or assertiveness or that is taken as strength. But one can be assertive and still be humble. It depends on how you, like Hanuman was assertive, Arjuna was assertive, but they were still humble. Very, very humble. So, in fact, that is proper exhibition of humility. That power that they exhibited, Hanuman and Arjuna, that is actual humility. Because they only bow down to Krishna or his representative and his cause. They will not bow down to something that is non-Krishna. And that is actual humility. If I become so-called humble and bow to something which is against Krishna, which is what happened in the case of Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj bowed down to the principle of honesty. And when Krishna wanted him to lie, when the supreme absolute truth asked him to lie, he chose relative truth and not lie in the service of the absolute truth. And for that, his chariot came down because it was actually one foot above the ground. It was not touching the ground, in fact. That pure he was, Yudhishthir Maharaj. But when he refused to tell a lie, the chariot went down. And later he had to see hell for 1 hour before going back to Godhead. That's a mistake. He bowed down to something which is regarded as a great quality in this world, but which Krishna was asking him to give up. He bowed down to something that was non-Krishna. He took honesty to be greater than obedience to Krishna. That was his folly. So bowing down to something non-Krishna, that is actually not humility. He was punished for that, therefore. Humility means bowing down only to the cause of the truth, and that we have read in the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's the lecture series that we did, 4-part lecture series on the revolutionary preacher of truth. So that's the definition of humility for the cause of absolute truth, not against. Okay. So anything that we have should be used in Krishna's service. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used his beauty in to subdue the demons. Because he is all attractive, it is to be understood that all the demigods lived with him as his companions. His acts were uncommon and his associates wonderful. When he propagated the Sankirtan movement, he attracted many great scholars and acharyas, especially in Bengal and Orissa. Lord Chaitanya is always accompanied by his best associates like Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar and Srivas. Srila Jiva Goswami cites a verse from the Vedic literature which says that there is no necessity of performing sacrificial demonstrations or ceremonial functions. He comments that instead of engaging in such external pompous exhibitions, All people, regardless of caste, color, or creed, can assemble together and chant Hare Krishna to worship Lord Chaitanya. This is important. There is no necessity of performing sacrificial demonstrations or ceremonial functions. Instead of engaging in such external pompous exhibitions, all people, regardless of caste, color, or creed, can assemble together and chant the Hare Krishna. So this is actually yajna. Some people think, we should have some fire, some yajna fire should be there. Then only it's a proper religious function. Well, we will light the seven-tongued flame, which is the Sankirtan yajna, which has seven tongues. The flame is considered like a tongue. Actually, the flame of the yajna is the tongue of Lord Vishnu. And when we throw the Agnihotra, so that is just like, we throw the Navadhanya into the Yajna Kunda, Yajna Vedhim. So that is akin to offering cooked food to the Lord, Archa Vigraha, as Naivedya, and then later taken as Prasadam. So whether we offer by cooking and offering it on a plate in front of the deity, or by throwing the grains into the fire, it is basically the same thing. We are feeding the Lord. The Lord does not need to be fed, but when we do that, we will get purified. So, the seven-tongued flame, because Cheto Darpanam Arjanam, that verse, if you see, it's actually seven glories of the Sankirtan Yajna. And that's why it's called the seven-tongued flame. So each of the flame is like a tongue. So seven tongues, seven glories of this fire of Yajna, Sankirtan Yajna. So that is the Yajna we should perform in this Kali Yuga. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam indicates that prominence should be given to the name of Krishna. I'm sorry. Lord Chaitanya taught Krishna consciousness and chanted the name of Krishna. Therefore, to worship Lord Chaitanya, everyone should together chant the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To propagate worship in churches, temples, or mosques is not possible because people have lost interest in that. But anywhere and everywhere, people can chant Hare Krishna. Thus, worshipping Lord Chaitanya, they can perform the highest activity and fulfill the highest religious purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a famous disciple of Lord Chaitanya, said, the principle of transcendental devotional service having been lost, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared in order to deliver again the process of devotion. He is so kind that he is distributing love of Krishna. Everyone should be attracted more and more to his lotus feet as humming bees are attracted to a lotus flower. Okay, so let's go back. सुवर्णवर्ण हेमांगो वरांगश्चंदनांगदी संन्यासकृच्छमः शांतो निष्ठा शांतिपरायणः. The Lord in the incarnation of Gaurasundar has a golden complexion. Indeed, his entire body, which is very nicely constituted, is like molten gold. Sandalwood pulp is smeared all over his body. He will take the fourth order of spiritual life, sannyas, and will be very much self-controlled. He will be distinguished from Mayavadi sannyasis in that he will be fixed in devotional service and will spread the Sankirtan movement. So this verse is actually a composite verse. It's not a single verse. So the first two lines are from the 79th verse of the Vishnu Sahasranama, 79th verse. And the second two lines are from the 62nd verse. So 79, 62. First two lines from the 79, second two lines from the 62nd verse, put together as one verse. So this is very interesting how this kind of verses can exist, composite verses. They're actually not a single verse, but composite, but stating the same thing. It's interesting how acharyas glean certain references and then put them together. And although they are two different verses. Another example is Antalila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antalila 3.60. You can actually see the difference in even the meter of the verse, the chanda. The first two lines are 21 syllables, the second two lines are 17 syllables. I'll just show you. It's a composite verse. I'm somehow very tired, feeling so sleepy right now. Okay, you see. Namaikam yasya vachi स्मरणपथगतं श्रोत्रमूलं गतं वा शुद्धं वा शुद्धवर्णं व्यवहितरहितं तारयत्येव सत्यम्. So these two lines are 21 syllables. Now the next two syllables do not follow the same tune. You see, if you remember the tune, शुद्धं वा शुद्धवर्णं व्यवहितरहितं तारयत्येव सत्यम् तच्चेद्देहद्रविणजनता लोभपाषण्डमध्ये निक्षिप्तं स्यान्नफलजनकं शीघ्रमेवात्र विप्र. 17 verses. This is, I think, Sragdhara Chanda, I think. If a devotee once utters the holy name of the Lord, or if it penetrates his mind or enters his ear, which is the channel of oral reception, that holy name will certainly deliver him from material bondage, whether vibrated properly or improperly, with correct or incorrect grammar, or properly joined or vibrated in separate parts. O Brahmana, the potency of the holy name is therefore certainly great. However, if one uses the vibration of the holy name for the benefit of the material body, for material wealth and followers, or under the influence of greed or atheism, or in other words, if one utters the name with offenses, such chanting will not produce the desired result very soon. Therefore, one should diligently avoid offenses in chanting the holy name of the Lord. So that second part is different verse, it's joined together. Okay, let's go back. Purport. Gopinath Acharya quoted this verse from the Mahabharat's Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. तुम्हार आगे एटो कथार नाहि प्रयोजन ऊषर भूमि तेजन बीजर रोपण. Gopinath Acharya then said, there is no need to quote so much evidence from the Shastras, for you are a very dry speculator. There is no need to sow seeds in barren land. So this is another thing that happens. Even if you quote reference, those are like seeds that will change the heart of the listener. If he listens, if his heart is fertile, when you sow the seed on a fertile land, then there will be germination, there will be actual, there will be the plant. But if the land is barren, even if you sow the seed, it will not grow into a plant. So there is no need to sow seeds in barren land, so there's no need to quote so much evidence from the Shastras, for you're a very dry speculator. So this is what happens. Even if Shastra is quoted, when one is blind, when one does not want to surrender, if there is no devotion, he will not be allowed to enter into this understanding. Tomar upare tar kripa jabe hobe, eshava siddhanta tabe tumi ho kahibe. When the Lord will be pleased with you, you will also understand these conclusions and will quote from the Shastras. You will quote from the Shastras, and you will understand his conclusions, but when the Lord will be pleased with you. So now it is understood that only with Shastric statement we can understand whether somebody is God or not. But even if Shastra is quoted, if I do not want to submit, there's nothing that will convince me. Even Shastra will not convince me. So only when the Lord is pleased, then we will understand the conclusions and we will understand the Shastric statement. Okay, this is the other thing. Shastra is there, Shastric statement is there. But to even accept the Shastric statement, you need the Lord's mercy. We need the Lord's mercy to even understand, to accept the Lord's statement. Why there are so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita and none of them understood? Only Prabhupada's one was understood in English. or in other languages as well. Why? Because this is explained by the pure devotee. And why? Because the Lord is pleased with the pure devotee. And when the pure devotee explains, the Lord is pleased with the explanation of the pure devotee. And therefore, he fills those words with power to change the others. So it's not our explanation that is changing other people. We should understand what preaching actually is. Many even devotees do not understand what preaching is. They think preaching means to get more followers to listen to some Krishna Katha. Okay, if I hide something, if I don't put the full, if I don't step on the gas pedal or the accelerator in the car, so to speak, if I don't fully explain about Krishna, maybe some people will, more people will stay to hear from me. What else I have to say? So I may get more followers by not describing Krishna explicitly. I will talk about something else which may, which they are concerned about, and let their attention come first and let them get faith in me. And then when I say Krishna, then they will accept me. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Because they start listening to you or listening to us because something resonates with them. Okay? Something touches them. But if you're going to switch that topic and to something else, they're not interested in that. So from the very beginning, just state the right thing. And the thing about preaching is this: our words, if we preach and people get convinced, the credit does not go to us. Our words are not the ones which change them. Our humility, our acceptance, our humility basically, that whatever Krishna says is right, and I have to just repeat his word. It is his word that will do the preaching. And because he is pleased with my uncontaminated service in not misrepresenting him, his word will be non-different from him. His word will act non-different from him, and the preaching will have effect on the soul, and they will understand the conclusion. That is the thing. They should understand the conclusion. Not whether we have more people, let him understand later, let him come first. No. Let him understand the conclusion. We should state the conclusion, and we should back up our points with evidence, but we should state the conclusion plain and simple. And that, if we hide, and we're not representing Krishna at all. That is a desire for janata. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. Kavitam va jagadisha kame. So the janata, I want jana, people, I want more people. And later one day I will explain about Krishna. In slow doses I will give them Krishna. No. We have to give them Krishna fully. Which way we give them, that's another thing, but we should give Krishna fully. Whether we talk it depends on what kind of audience we are facing. Sometimes it's kirtan, sometimes it's you're talking in a different context, maybe in the context of businessmen. Then you go there and tell them what economics is, what is actually economics. Don't waste your time on simply profit making and then exploiting others. Real economics means annat bhavanti bhutani. That's it. By if there is enough rains, then you will have grains. How you can get enough rains? If you do Sankirtan Yajna, so just do Sankirtan Yajna, then automatically there will be enough food for your maintenance, everything will be enough for you. Okay? And no, we want to increase the GDP. No need. Don't waste your time. There's a prayasa, unnecessary endeavor, over endeavoring, wasting your life. कामस्य नेन्द्रिय प्रीतिर लाभो जीवेत यावता जीवस्य तत्व जिज्ञासा नार्थोयश्चैह कर्मभिः. Economics should only serve what is that? Jnanam, dhanam dharmaika phalam yato vai. Right? Dhanam cha dharmaika phalam yato vai. Jnanam sa vijnanam anuprashanti. Griheshu yunjanti kalevarasya. Mrityum na pashyanti duranta viryam 11.5.12. The only proper fruit of acquired wealth is religiosity. The proper fruit of the acquired wealth is not to increase our wealth even more. No. Is religiosity, on the basis of which one can acquire a philosophical understanding of life. So it should get us to a point where we are enough with our thing and our time can be used within religiosity. And if we have surplus, we'll use it for the furthering the cause of religion. So if I have more money than what I need, I should spend that money to a mission where they are preaching Krishna consciousness. It is a blessing of Krishna that I have this extra money so that I can spend it for Krishna service. But I should be concerned with the bare minimum of life. One can acquire a philosophical understanding of life that eventually matures into direct perception of the absolute truth and thus liberation from all suffering. So wealth should lead us this way. Materialistic persons, however, utilize their wealth simply for the advancement of their family situation. They fail to see that insurmountable death will soon destroy the frail material body and the wealth associated with it. So, he's saying, when the Lord will be pleased with you, you will also understand these conclusions, and we'll quote from the Shastras. तोमार जे शिष्य कहे कुतर्क नानावाद इहार की दोष ए मायार प्रसाद. Mayar Prasad. The false arguments and philosophical word jugglery of your disciples are not faults of theirs. They have simply received the benediction of Mayavad philosophy. Very beautiful verse. Yachaktayo vadatam vadinam vai vivada samvada bhuvo bhavanti kurvanti chaisham mohoratma moham tasmai namo nanta gunaya bhumne. 6.4.31, right? Yeah. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full of unlimited qualities and whose different potencies bring about agreement and disagreement between disputants. You see, why people agree and disagree why there are disputants, why there is a dispute, why there are disputants, and why there is agreement and disagreement among them? Because of Krishna's different potencies. Thus, the illusory energy again and again covers the self-realization of both disputants. So you see, while they disagree and agree among themselves, they actually lose the real point. They lose Krishna in the main. That's what is happening in today's world. Everybody is debating so many things, so many viewpoints. But in the whole thing, everybody is forgetting God. Only those who remember God and who work for Him, they understand the real purport of all debate or all discussion or anything. Then, yuktam cha santi sarvatra bhashante brahmana yatha mayam madiyam udgrihya vadatam kimnu durghatam. What is this verse? 11.22.4. In almost all cases, whatever learned brahmanas speak becomes accepted. Nothing is impossible for one who takes shelter of my illusory energy and speaks under her influence. Yeah, he can speak anything. He can, in fact, if you go to 11.22.4, 5, 6, 7, verses, um, both can be right, even if they have opposing viewpoints, because the same thing can be explained in different ways, and that's how my Maya is employed by me. Is Krishna is basically saying like that to Uddhava. In this verse, from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:4, the Supreme Personality of Godhead explains that his illusory energy can perform the impossible, such as the power of the illusory energy. In many cases, philosophical speculators have covered the real truth and have boldly set forth false theories. Boldly. In ancient times, philosophers like Kapila, Gautama, Jaimini, Kanada, and similar Brahmanas propounded useless philosophical theories. This Kapila is not the incarnation of Krishna, but the impostor Kapila. And in modern days, so called scientists are setting forth many false theories about the creation backed up by seemingly logical arguments. This is all due to the influence of the Supreme Lord's illusory energy. The illusory energy, therefore, sometimes appears correct because it is emanating from the Supreme Correct. To avoid the very bewildering illusory influence, one must accept the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as they are. Only then can one escape the influence of the illusory energy. See? So, when people speak different things and everything appears all right, everything appears right, what is actually right? The words of Krishna. That's what we should be directed by. We should always direct ourselves by the words of Krishna. Then only that is faultless truth. Everything else is relative truth, which is actually false. तबे भट्टाचार्य कहे जहाँ गोसायर स्थाने आमार नामे गण सहित कर निमंत्रणे. After hearing this from Gopinath Acharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, first go to the place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is staying and invite him here with his associates. Ask him on my account. प्रसाद आनी तारे करह प्रसाद आनी तारे कराहो आगे भिक्षा पश्चात आसी हमारे कराय हो शिक्षा. What is that? I already finished until 127. Really? When was that? How come? Really? I don't know where. Where is that? Okay, wait 1 second. Let me check the YouTube channel. 100. Oh, yes, you're right. I'm doing again. Okay, but we went in a different angle. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, 127. See, I was confused by the thumbnails. I saw the thumbnails. Okay, until 127 I have finished. Oh, wow. Thank you for that. Okay, so I think we finished all this then. Let's go to 127 then. But I think this is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. The same thing can be studied in different angles and different things. So, Madhya 6.101-111. Oh, yes, this is where we were, right? Okay, we will go. Now, what is the time? 9:25. I'm sort of tired right now. So, I think we will do this next week. And we will stop it here. I'll go through any questions that we may have. Somehow I missed that thing. Now it's already 9:30, so it's like a bit. Today has been a long day. Long day today. Okay, now. 2493 is quoted here. Yeah. Which is अजागलस्तनन्याय अन्य साधन अतएव हरि भजे बुद्धिमान जन. अजागलस्तनन्याय. Ajagalasthananyaya. With the exception of devotional service, all the methods of self-realization are like the nipples of the neck on the neck of a goat. Therefore, an intelligent person adopts only devotional service, giving up all other processes of self-realization. So, goat has these two things like that hanging here. If you see some picture of a goat or a real goat, two hanging like this, like a udder of a cow, but they don't give any milk. So, it's like that. Somebody is saying Hindi में बताइए Guruji please. I'm sorry, I conduct these classes only in English. My Hindi is not that fluent, but I'll probably try mixing up Hindi and English. But I conduct this class in English basically. One person can't do everything. Somebody is asking why modern school education is failed in front of Vedic education. Well, because it's atheistic. They teach us about this world in a way that makes us godless. Although God's hand is everywhere, but there's no understanding of God with this so-called education. Vedic education is God-centered. Humility allows sincere devotion to flow towards Krishna. Yes. So is humility so powerful that sincere devotion becomes subservient to humility? Nothing. In fact, devotion is actually supreme. It is superior to even Krishna. Because Krishna Karshini, devotional service attracts even Krishna. Krishna is all attractive, but devotional service attracts Krishna. So bhakti is the supreme. Krishna bhakti is superior to even Krishna in that sense. So Radharani in that way is superior to even Krishna, although she is his energy. Because only through Radharani we can go to Krishna. So humility allows sincere devotion to flow towards Krishna. Is that a fact? Actually, what happens is humility attracts Krishna's attention. Then he allows us to have sincere devotion to Krishna. So that's what it is always not on the strength of our mustering enough humility. But if we become humble, then Krishna becomes pleased, and then he allows us to have that sincere devotion to flow towards Krishna. So it is right in one way, but we miss the point that Krishna is the one helping us being attracted or being satisfied with our humility. He bestows the realizations and he bestows the experience. What is this person saying? Rohan Kumar. What is he saying? Ask some pertinent question. Don't ask questions simply anything you like. You're saying I'm a complete loser in my life. I hate my life. Okay, so listen to the lecture, then you will start to love your life. Okay, so sukam kar tum abhyam. If when the lecture is going on, if you just comment on your own thing, then you will not gain anything like that. You should listen. That's where the auspiciousness is. And please go and get one book, Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, Ishopanishad. Get all these books. Purchase all these books and start reading. Then you will feel, and then you will love your life. That's the only way. You read these books, chant Hare Krishna, you will love your life. Okay. Don't simply state something. Here, listen to the class, at least attentively listen. That's how you will benefit in life. If you just class is I'm explaining something and then you are writing your own thing, I hate my life, I'm this, I'm that. Okay, just shut up and then listen first. So then we will. So if I'm distracted while something important is being spoken, then what is the point? What is the point of attending? You should know how to ask. You should listen to the topic and then note down. Okay, that point is not fully clear. Okay, I'll ask question on that. That's how you should ask question in a lecture. Thoughtful questions you must ask. Not simply whatever you like, you just ask. That's not how you ask questions. So, can we say preaching is sharing Krishna's message through humility and service? I had been to one katha where Prabhu spoke about mindfulness and not Krishna, and it was supposed to be Bhagavatam katha. Mindfulness and not Krishna. So his mind was not on Krishna. So mind was empty. Mindful or mind empty. Like either it's filled with Krishna or filled with kachada and khichdi. So we should fill it with Krishna. If the katha was without Krishna, then it is not Krishna katha, it is Maya katha. So preaching is sharing Krishna's message through humility and service. Preaching means, you can say like that, but preaching means first our conduct should be there, achar, then prachar. First, achar should be there, sadachar, based on devotional principles. So our behavior itself should preach, first of all. Then, not just the words, but our behavior itself should preach. But yes, we should open our mouth and preach. When we are preaching, are we sharing Krishna's message? Yes. But a pure devotee actually spreads Krishna's and he's benefiting others with his preaching. Whereas we, when we are not pure devotees, we are benefiting ourselves with our preaching. And others will also be benefited because it is Krishna's words. So others will also be benefited, but the primary beneficiary is myself. I'm purifying myself for my own purification, for my own jani vana jane kare kare apane shodhan. I'm doing this for my own purification. So yes, we should preach humbly. Otherwise, actually, we cannot become preacher. We think we're a preacher. Actually, we're not a preacher if you're not humble. We're just making a show of being a preacher, but the character shows. You got to judge a person by his character. You can speak many, many things, but you see how he behaves. That matters. Mm-hmm. So Antya 4.71 is quoted here. Let's say, purport is that Antya 471. तार मध्य सर्वश्रेष्ठ नाम संकीर्तन निरपराधे नाम लयले पाय प्रेम धन. If one does so, avoiding the 10 kinds of offenses, one very easily obtains the most valuable love of Godhead. Krishna, Krishna. If one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in the age of Kali. Somewhere it is there. Okay. Humility and meekness. I just want to maybe search like that. What? Yeah, we attract Krishna's attention and then how did you become a monk and why? I think Rohan did not understand anything. You listen to the class and ask the question based on the topic what was explained. Don't ask irrelevant questions. None of your business how I became monk. Like, please listen to the class and understand what is being said here. I'm not going to answer your questions. It's simply whimsical anything. How was your chanting and seva today? Who is this Inspire 307? I'm going to answer these whimsical questions. How is your chanting and seva today? How is your hearing, first of all? I don't think your hearing is very good. You focus on your Shravanam. Okay? Don't ask stupid questions. Okay, I think we'll end it here. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. We have practically repeated the topic. Okay, we went on a different angle. Nanarthakoy. What is that? Prati shloke pratyakshare nanarthakoy. Alright, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.